It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
Next question is from Hawkeye Farm D13, which, hey man, good to see you in the chat today. Would you guys recommend tax loss harvesting in this current environment? Again, another current environment question for you.
All right, so let me go ahead and give you the disclosure disclaimer. We can't give you personalized investment or tax advice because we don't know your unique situation. So should you do tax loss harvesting in this environment? I don't know. We need to know more stuff to know the answer to that. I can say this. Tax loss harvesting is very attractive in this kind of environment. What is tax loss harvesting? It's a pretty simple process. You own something that loses value. You decide, I'm going to sell that thing that's lost value. I'm going to go buy something similar, not identical, but similar, so that when this recovers, I will recover said value that was lost. And what I've done is I have harvested or capitalized on those losses that I took, and I can use that to offset future capital gains, current capital gains this year, and I can even carry it forward into future years. So it's a great strategy. Well, a lot of people say, hey guys, I did that, but man, I did it in like May, and I've still got some red in my portfolio. Well, there's nothing to say that when it comes to loss harvesting, it's not something that you can carry throughout the whole year. Now, you have to make sure you understand the rules, because if you run afoul of them, you'll be pretty upset. You'll think you did this great thing and you had this beautiful loss that you harvested, and you'll see in your statement there's this thing called a wash sale, a disallowed loss. That is not as much fun. You don't get any benefit from doing that. But there's nothing to stop you if you are someone who has a large taxable portfolio and you want to figure out how to turn this unique downturn from lemons into lemonade. Tax loss harvesting is a great strategy to be able to do that.
Sometimes I want to know if the content team put this question in under some, I don't know if Hawkeye, because, Reby was so friendly just then. Because when we are having a content meeting recently, one of the show ideas was a deep dive on loss harvesting. And we've written the show notes on it. But I was like,
got to give the people what they want.
Nobody wants to talk about a deep dive where we're doing a full show on loss harvesting. But here we go. Hawkeye asked this question. So good news for you, Hawkeye. We actually have a super deep dive, because loss harvesting, I think, is a tremendously powerful tool to where you can, as I'll use his words, you can turn lemons into lemonade. But there are some side effects or unintended consequences you have to plan for. And guess what? We cover every bit of that. So, check I hate to leave a cliffhanger, but it's crazy. I can't cover it in a 3 to 5 minute Q&A question. We have a full deep dive coming out in the next 2 to 3 weeks. That I think you will love, because we can tell you anything and everything you'd want to know about loss harvesting and how you can maximize not only the benefits, but also know, on the front end, what are the negatives and how you can actually turn those into positives too. So it lets you layers the lemons into lemonade into multiple scenarios. So take advantage of that, and I think a lot of people will benefit.
And I think one of the great things is this shows, Hawkeye, you naturally have a financial mutant's mindset. We know from The Millionaire Next Door that one of the traits of millionaires, they recognize market opportunities. They understand when things present themselves. A lot of people are saying things right now like, oh, I'm not looking at my statements. I'm burying my head in the sand. I don't want to see it. And I get that. And if you're an emotional person, that's probably a viable strategy if you're afraid you'll make a bad decision. But I do think that true financial mutants, even in downturns, can recognize opportunities that exist that will allow them to maximize what they're doing. This year's a great example. Maybe it's loss harvesting. Maybe it's the timing on when you do Roth conversions. Maybe it's when you think about doing pre-tax contributions versus Roth contributions inside your 401k. Downturns can provide a lot of opportunity to do some really interesting things, but you have to be looking for it. And you have to, if you can put in that little bit extra and figure out that little optimized strategy, there's a really good chance that you will find on the other side of this thing, you'll say things like, man, I am so glad that I did that.
Yeah.